And it's Money Monday, October 25th, AK47 over at Deckmar Trades via Tradecaster.com. Josh Smith Official Prime Trading here on Instagram. And oh my gosh, it is here. I kept calling it last week. Go back to my one from last week. It's the weekly recap right here going on. We're going to recap. We're going to do a little rewind right here, do a weekly rewind recap. And I'm going to do a little what's going to happen, a little weekend forward, right? What are we going to see this coming week? And look what we saw last week. DWAC, a stock that ran. I kept calling this. Just go back. I've been alerting this in chat for months. For months, I've been alerting this. Well, I'll say a month plus, but weeks I've been alerting this. 11 to 175. Are you kidding me, team? Now, let's just kind of go back a little bit and rewind, right? We rewind a little bit. Last week's alerts were AVIR. If you remember, I shorted this. This was it had a huge gap down from Monday into Tuesday. This was Tuesday's play, and it was moving up. And I shorted this on the way down. There were areas on the way down. I was shorting it. There was one area right here that I loved, this 1450 area when it cracked, and there were multiple areas. You can just tell. Remember the 1620 or the 15. There was another one. What was the other one? AVTE. That was the other one last week too. Did the same type thing. Had a huge spike up last week, if you remember, and then we shorted it. There was another one, to a great little short. That was kind of early on, kind of setting the pace, going, okay, we're seeing some movement here. We're seeing some life back, seeing some jolting. But here was the overall big mover. And you can see the multi-day run all the way. And let me just show you. It makes it a little bit clear when you do the 1 year, 1 day charts. Let's go to the 1 year, 1 day chart and look at this move right here. And HX, I kept saying in chat last week, it was this day right here specifically, Wednesday, that I said, HX team, if this continues to go, if this continues to push, this right here is going to set the pace. I'm telling you right now, and we're going to start seeing some crazy movement. We're going to see it, team. And so we can go back to last week, and we can just go back. We can't go back far enough right there. I don't think so. We have to go back to a 5-day time frame. We'll go back 5 days here, back to last Wednesday. And this really started setting the party off because it started getting the movement. As you can tell, that daily movement here, the first big day was Tuesday. First big day we ran from about 623 up to about 961. Now, nothing major, it was a 272, almost a $3 move, nothing crazy. But that really set the pace when we held. Look, we held our gains. See how we held our gains? Then the next day, and we're going to see this a lot, all the way to today with BKKT, when they hold their gains and then they start to U-shape. Now we're starting to see these U-shaped breakouts. See these U-shaped breakouts over the VWAP, and we hold the the VWAP. We're not failing. Often I say that in chat or even in my recaps team, how often I'm saying if it has to hold. Now, if we can't just push and then mutter and putter around and then fail back, then it's done. No traders, that's not amusing to them. Whammy. Through the high of day at the in market, through this $11 area, and when we can continue to scud missile off, that's when we start kind of showing some, getting through the high over the real high of day and pre-market run, then doing this triple top and holding. I kept saying this, team, and we're going to see this the next day with DWAC, with HX at the pace right here. This right here really holding its daily gains and then really holding its gains doing this triple top. Right here, I thought it was around that $17.80 to $18 area, triple top, boom, boom, boom. We thought it was done. It was going to probably fade off, but nope. Held out after these crazy pullbacks it would have. Nice. Almost sounded like Borat right there, but really nice pullbacks. And whammy. And then this right here, that's what set the tone. When it broke through that, held its gains from the day before, that was nice, U-shaped, went up and scud missiled up, and then did this triple top, and then broke through that. Like, you combine all that together, traders are going, ooh, here. You hear me right by my, just go, ooh, it's hot, baby. Here we go. I'm ready now. And see, then we start taking off in after hours. And that's fine that we took, and that's what we wanted. We wanted this to take on after hours somewhat and hold, right? We wanted to hold. That's the main thing, team. This set the pace. HX, I said it all day Wednesday. I'm telling you, team, it set the pace. Watch for this to really start the mob and the hot fire for the penny stock land. Now, it ran up to 25.4 and kind of started fading, and then really couldn't do that U-shape and really hasn't done too much since, right? Kind of faded off. But let's go back to the party starter that you just saw, DWAC, that made the party go bananas. Berserk. Okay, there's the regular stock. Now look at the warrant stocks. DWAC U. Look at this, team. Look at this move. Same move, essentially, right? DWAC W. Are you kidding me? From the day before, if it was gapping up, it was in the 50-cent range. But even just saying the normal move where you really could have got in was the $1 to $2 range. All the way up to 80, from $2 to $80. The move on thousands of percent, crazy moves on these. Now, these are really hard to get in and out of. I'm not going to break down the U and the W, but I will kind of get over to DWAC. And you can see I forgot to even kind of go back here. I forgot to show you this team real quick. All the way back to HX here, which I love bringing up here. And we can go all the way back to my alerts that I have back. And I only have a few of them. I didn't save so many. These are actually still in alerts chat. And then there you go. Targets. This was on the 20th. As you can see, 10:23 o'clock. Targets has to really push and stay over 1875. So this is my alert right at the closing bell. Right here at 3:02. Has to push over. And here, look at then we have 19.4, 2025, 26, and 2020. Look at all these areas and look how they hit. I mean, it hit immediately, and I'm like laughing. Then someone asked, this was where someone asked about it. I think, did I copy and paste? And I said, they've all been right here. I said, man, honestly, when plays like move, they could easily move to 75. This is DWAC. This is then DWAC alert. So we'll get to DWAC, but there you go. There's my HX alerts. All of them hit. All of them. Look, after 21.7, then we have 22.15. And we get my point. Look at this, what this does too, team. Look at this. Let's get back into all these, all the way up to what was the last alert? 24 to push to 25. After it breaks the 22 to 22.5 area, this could push straight to 24 to 25. Look at this. HD with volume after 22 and 22.5 could push straight to 24 and 25 onward. Look at this, where we finally break it. You get my point. And so that's where that volume came in. There's where the resistance came in. Now let's get to the next play. Let's get to DWAC. Let's get to the crazy mover of them all. It's most likely going to be. There's not going to be another mover like this. There will be, but this really set the pace. And so DWAC, even to get into some of these alerts, right? It's awesome that I even have these. So DWAC right here. My alert early on, and I love this. Look at this. Okay, and then you get my point. I didn't have all of them copy and pasted over in alerts tab, but I'm glad I did this. But I said right here, did the same thing, team. Let's just kind of go through it. Didn't do the U shape. Now we didn't do the complete crazy U shape, right? But we did somewhat of the U shape. So you popped up, held the crazy move. We had its crazy little moments at times, right? This little 10-minute period was pretty crazy, but otherwise, and it had crazy moments where it was really rangy. Like the range for look at this $1.40 each candle, $1.48 spread, $1.50 spread. Especially $1+ spread. The range, I should say, range. The range was $1+. The spread was probably it was there. It was 10+ cents, right? It definitely with it, and then after this movement came, that's when the range started really getting in there, started making a little bit bigger per candle, but it really wasn't moving too much, right? It just was kind of up in the night, up and down 19, up and down 19, up and down 18, up and down 18. Then this is where the mumbo jumbo movement started coming, and this is where I was alerting in chat somewhere around lunch hours. I was like, team, this could be the first one. I kept alerting. I wish I would have copied and pasted it, screenshot all these, but I said, listen, team, this could be the first one that we have run. 300. 500%. I don't think I have any of those. I don't think I screenshot as much as I wish I would have. Yeah, none of them I didn't screenshot. Those are all from last week. But that's it, right? And so, unfortunately, I was like, I wish I would have screenshot. But anyway, regardless. But I kept saying right in here, there was a head and shoulders creating. And I said, if it breaks out of this head right here, and we start popping up and we pop through 30, this could be the one, that 300 to 500% mover. And then look, this is, again, we started getting, they got this movement for a minute. This crazy, what are the range on these candles? Yeah, like $2+. See, this is 227. The range on this candle's 354. And so, boom, then we start getting that again once we break that. And so, of course, boom, beautiful alerts, letting everybody know. And I said, this could easily move to 50. And then, sure enough, right to 50, right? And so that was the alert. That was my movement saying, hey, this could easily move to 50. That's it. It's already hitting almost just kind of like the day before with HX going, man, this is already hitting my alert so fast. Oh, what are we doing again with just like HX? We're triple topping, just like HX, but at $50, albeit 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, man, I was telling this early on, and this is when I was saying this, and that's what I was saying that you just saw my alerts with DWAC saying, hey, my alert areas were essentially, and I wish you would have seen it early on, was to move to $50 in after hours and stay there. But this easily, here's early on at 412. This is at 412. So not even, an hour in or so, right at an hour in, I'm alerting this. This could easily move to $75 by tomorrow or at opening bell. And after hours specifically, if this holds 50, somewhere in the 60s. And that was that was afterward. Then I go in there even afterwards, you can see. That's why I see, because you get my point. Honestly, still seeing this move up to $75 again, whether it's in pre-market or at the opening bell, because it already hit 75. And you'll see what I'm saying. Watch where this closes, and that hits all my alerts again. Goes up through 50, and I kept saying this after it goes up through 50. I said, I told you, team, if this blows through 60, it's going to go right up to 70, 75. and there was a little downtrend through here, and that was one of my last alerts was someone here, like, hey, it's breaking the downtrend, watch for this to move up. And look what the high was. The high, and after hours, which it goes up again even higher, doesn't matter, 74.40, I think it was, something like that, 74.40. Crazy move, right up through all my targets. Then again the next day, and then I kept alerting it. Like, and I wake up and I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. Just like I said, look what this alert says, and it hit it just like I said the night before. The closer this works to 75 at opening bell, the better shot that says explode to 100, or at least shoot to the 80s with the shot to push the 90s and close to 100. Pre-market holds the key to DWAC. I wake up and I'm laughing because essentially when I wake up, I'm not early. I'm not up at 3 a.m. But when I wake up, by the time I do wake up, which was actually in the 7 o'clock hour, it's spiking right here. And I'm going, well, there goes my move. And I already saw this. So, it's already what? The closer it holds to 75. 75 was pretty much the support on one. I think it was a little bit lower. You can tell it's around like 65 or 67. I was like, okay, well, that's kind of already exactly what I held. Closer it holds to 75. Well, it hit that one above. It was really hold close to 75. I come in, I'm laughing, going, well, there goes all that and more at the opening bell. Already happened. And so at the opening bell, and I wish I would have screenshotted those alerts, I'm essentially saying this is going to move to 115. I was in here at 123. With 50 shares, I was in the break of at the open because I trade the open. I'm just trying to wait to see what I'm going to get, if it's going to get the same mob or if we're going to get a crazy pullback. You can see right here. Look at the movement. You can just see. So I'm waiting to see at the bell if we get green. As soon as it starts turning green and pushing over 120, I press the buy. Right up here, I press buy market. I'm in like 123.50, whatever it was, and I'm like, geez, what a spread. What's crazy? It showed you how fast it moved too, because instantly, this was live. Not that long at all. Boom, straight into a halt. It was halted for 30 minutes, and you better believe everyone and me were sweating their you-know-what off, butthole clench, and going, oh, just go live already at 30 minutes. Finally goes live at look at that. Look at the gap up, $40+. Finally scaled out my 50 shares and about $800, literally $800 on the dot win, which was awesome. But 50 shares, and it just shows you what you can do with 50 shares. But alerted that to 150. Now we gapped up well above it, but I knew that was the area it was going to move to, because when we move above like 75 team, 100's the net, like with this momentum, with this crazy momentum, 100's the next main goal, right? 100 is the next main key. Once you hit this $75 target right here, we wake up the next morning and it's still hovering close to 75. 100 is for sure inside after you just saw this crazy. It was at 300% or whatever, like I called it closed, then going up. It wasn't my 300, 500% mover on the day. I'm sure at $75 it was 500+% or wherever it was at. And the fact that you did that in one day and then we held up and right here pre-market, every time this happens, the very next day, you can guarantee this is spiking to 100 with enough momentum and volume through it. Or if we're spiking, we're already above that. Maybe, get my point at the opening bell like we were here, because you can see, like, once again, let's zoom in. Opening bell, right? I should say the minute before the opening bell, the 2 minutes beforehand, we're spiking up to 100, spiking well through 100. Look at the range on this stock. There are a range on this candle. Range is 19.99. There's a range right there. You can see, of course, a little bit bigger range in market, more volume. But look at this range. Look how much volume. And so just crazy. When that started spiking through, I'm like, let's see it hold, because you get my point. So 100 was the first key. We blew through it, so we blew through that. 125 is kind of the next target, but usually it just 150 is almost, it's almost always hit or gets really close to hitting once it blows through 100. And then since then, you can see. And I was done touching that. After that, I was not going to try to alerted this actually in Friday when I went live, if any of those for the takers. Where was it at? Actually, no, this was the crazy movement. This was not Friday. Friday, though, on the way down, I did alert, what was that? No, it's today. That was Friday. That's what I thought. That was today. That was what I thought it was, because this was Friday that was the second day. Hello, AK-47. Come on, Josh. Out of the halt down right here in chat. This was the website. Where was it at? Right here. The halt down, and you can see, I'll go back. I'm just going to put the line right there, and I can show you why I saw the support. Like, you can just kind of go back right through there, and then you can go, well, and then it went down to like $60 or what, $16 right here. So you can see the $65 to $67 range. I liked it. You can just put the line across and so you go all the way ththrough there. I'm like, there may be a small gap down, but I like when this opens up to see a nice bounce right here out of the open. And sure enough, and the AK of the guy go Amit and AKS 007 took this bounce or somewhere in there on the way up, but boom, look at that whammy, opened right up essentially and spiked just like I called for. And so crazy movement, and then look at this on top of the fact. So, we saw those DWACs and all the ones that went with it. Look at this movement and where I banked, which I have my, over, if you check my stories, which I, will do the post, PHUN banked, what was it right here? Does I have it in here still? I think it's still right here. Waterburger up here. Come on, pull up already. Boom, right there. There was the final profit on PHUN on the way up. I have more screenshots of it, I know. But there was the profit. It ended up being $7.85. So $7.85 for DWAC and PHUN. There's the 1948 on the way up. And then my entry price, as you can see, hold on, I think it was this right here. This won't be weird on me for a minute. Just hold up for a second there. And there's a small little screenshot because it just makes it easier to see in chat instead of making it so big. It really just focuses in on the area. But you can see the 1296 entry, which I'm about to get into, PHUN, where I banked the most on. And I wish I would have went way. I wish I went 2,000 or 3,000 shares on this, and I'll show you why. PHUN. So this started getting crazy action on Friday as well. So I can get this back up here properly. There we go. Whatever. Anyway. So, same action right here. So we saw this move up over high of day, and this spike, I had people texting me, all kinds of people, and I have to go live. I forgot I had to go live for a minute. Oh my gosh, what's going on? It was just crazy. Crazy Friday morning. I knew it would be. I kept alerting that Thursday. Be ready, team. Be ready. It is going to be a freaky deaky Friday. A freaky deaky Friday. I kept calling it. All you chat members watching this, I know you probably remember me calling that 100 times. So when this spiked up, went over the high of day, I don't want to feel like scrolling back anymore, but that is over the high of day in pre-market, and we're halted up. I'm like, okay, got my attention now. This opens up and starts flying up. And then I'm like, oh, geez. Okay, I've got it. We stay still here, pimp. Stay still here. So, that's what I thought. And we're in a 3-minute time frame. Well, why does this look a little different here? I don't need to go into a 1-minute window. I can. Yes. All right, so let's go into a 1-minute time frame here. So when this goes halting up, flying up, I thought those 2 candles. I didn't think it was in the very first minute. Boom, 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 and there's your first halt up right here, right? So when this opens up, I'm waiting for it. I could have played my halt strategy. Is this high right here is 1098. This low dip is 1098. That is my halt strategy hitting on the T. I haven't seen some of these moves lately. I'm still waiting to make sure those are actually going to hold up and push more. I know I just saw DWAC, but DWAC's kind of get my point all over the place this morning, and so I don't trust these moves so much right now. But I want what I love, like I got with ORPH earlier in July, are these type moves where we wait for it. Okay, confirmation, you are pushing. High of day. I've taught this so many times that over this 12.6 area was my goal. And as soon as I saw this flushing over 12.6, I did the same thing. Go up to buy. I was already sitting there, but I wish it was like 2K or 3K, but I was just waiting to watch this. I wish I'd adjusted it already. Boom, I triggered it as soon as I saw this flush over. Just like I did the same thing with earlier in the morning with DWAC with the flush over 120, and as soon as it opened up and as soon as I saw it going green and up, I just pushed the button. I said, boom, let's get in. Same thought process here. Fill's not going to be that great. I know it's a market order. My fill was like 1296, whatever it was, 1296. It's not that bad. I knew too as well, where I saw where the LULD was, it was well above my entry, which was 12.90. Well, at the time, 12.6 was what I wanted as entry. I'm thinking if I'm anywhere close to that, under 13 essentially, I know the LULD is well over 13. It's just over 13, and it continued to move up, which was great. But I had 20 to 30 cents at that time to work with once I saw my entry, but it kept moving up. I had 20 to 30 cents. What I'm thinking in my head, 20 to 30, 40 cents at most between where my entry is going to be and where the LULD is going to hit for a halt up. I know it's going to halt up. I have this great feeling it's going to halt up. I know this is going to be the one. And then if not, or I should say, well, if not, and you'll see what I did, which that's what I did. I took half the shares. Like I just didn't know it could fall over. So that's why right at the top here, I thought I was going to get a fake out breakout and it was going to fall back over when it finally was looking like it was going to halt up. And boom, that's why you saw that screen. My last screenshot, scroll on, we'll go ahead and rewind. That's why you only saw me still in 500 shares, because as soon as this hit that, I was like, oh, I'm going to see a fake out breakout. DWAC's all over the place. This is going to do this number on me right here at the top. A big red candle's about to form and it's going to go slammy. And so I took 500 shares, but then boom, it halted up on me. And I somehow got those 500 shares out. I was like, oh no, I wish I wouldn't have. Like, no. And so I was like, okay, well, whatever. I took the profit. I was still out, still in 500 shares. But that was my thought process there. And that's why I took out the 500 shares. But again, the thought process. Back to what I was thinking. At first, not really looking at it. But once it skyrocketed up and now you're halting up over the pre-market highs, and when you open up, you give me my halt strategy and I don't take it. So I missed out and I'm pretty pissed. And then you actually show me. Then there's a reason why. Like I told you, I was skeptical. There's not many that have been holding it. There's not many that have been pushing. So, you are holding, you are pushing. Now immediately, because I'm used to these now, my thought process immediately goes, okay, you skyrocket over 12.6. I know because it shows I love Thinkorswim like this. This will be sitting right there. It says HI. 1290 or 1263 or whatever it was. And I said, you flush over that or look like you're about to, I'm all aboard. And this volume just came flying in. I saw a market ordered in, 1296 was the fill, hit up here in this area, thinking I may get the fake out halt, right? And it's going to fall down on me. I take half the shares, now we're halted up. I'm still in half the share size. As soon as this opens up, I'm seeing if I can get another halt strategy because I know now. And also, like I said, besides the fact that I know the LULD's up, what am I getting? I'm getting most likely a decent gap up. This gap up wasn't much. High was 12.98. The open here was 11.20. So just a 22-cent gap up. But hey, like I said, my entry and where the LULD was, I knew I had 20 to 30 cents there to work with that. Then a 20-cent gap up. That's my thought process, team. I've got 20 to 30 cents to run to the high of day area where it's going to halt up because I see the LULD. Although this kept running, which was great. It ran over $1 from my entry. But then in the end, I know I'm getting a gap up. Now in the end, I didn't think I was going to get this big of a gap up, but that's my thought process and why I get in here of over the high of day because I know I have room to move into that halt up area, and I'm wanting and thinking I'm really going to get that halt up. And if I don't, and that's why I did, I went ahead and took half the share size. Then secondly, when I do get that halt up, if I get it, I know it comes with it. A gap up, right? A gap up. Get another gap up, right? We really get those. And so it's kind of that ORPH mentality. I know I'm going to run into a halt up, most likely, and I've got room to move into that halt up, which in this case I had $1, which was great. And then I'm going to get a gap up on top of it. Now back to the trading process. As soon as this opened up, and I went to 100 because I knew how much. I was like, oh, I'm going to get a good gap up. Oh, my gosh. This is just going to be great. This is running now. This is the other one I kept calling. We're going to have a secondary one that goes crazy and bananas. And I think this on the day almost went 1,000% team. I mean, because it was gapping up. You've got to see. It was gapping up from – where's it gapping up from? It's gapping up from what? Like nothing. 265. That was the low the day before. I think that it may have been even lower than that. So from $2 essentially up to 24. I mean, it ran 1,000% on the day, which is nuts. So I knew that I didn't think it was going to go bigger than DWAC went the first day, but I knew it was going to go big. And so my thought process, hey, you're already out 500, so you've locked in a lot in the back pocket already. Don't go to what I usually do is go 500. So if I was in 1,000 shares or any share size, point being, I always go half at first and then a quarter and a quarter. So if it's 1,000 shares, I go 500 shares out, then 250, then 250. What this, at this point, I'm like, I know I'm going to get a good gap up. I don't want to go 250 and 250. I want to go, I've got 500 shares left. I want to go 100, I want to go 100 the rest of the way. Now I'm going to add 500 if I see this come down and give me my halt strategy. It didn't. It gapped up. As soon as I started popping and flying up, that's where I would just went 100 at a time. My last exit was around the $18 mark. It started looking there for a second like it was going to be another halt up. It didn't, and I was like, this is going to fall over at some point. And I wish I would have held a tad longer. And, not that I wish, of course, $6 more would have been great. Get my point though. And I'll take $2,000. Could it have been 4,000? Most likely, heck yeah. And then again, in the end, what I'm more, and it could have easily been. And that's where I wish I would have just added more shares. I wish I would have been in 2,000 shares, been in 3,000 shares, because then I would have had more room to scale out more. And of course, bigger share size equals more profit. But again, then you get the same bounce happened at the same time later on. I think it happened 10 minutes earlier. And I'll scroll back to show you the area that I alerted on. Or was it late? I think maybe 10 minutes earlier or later. But you can see the same thing. They were both halted down. PHUN. Remember the DWAC alert? I just showed you DWAC around that $67 mark. I was like, I think this is going to be the same thing as DWAC. I think this was the one first. DWAC came afterward. PHUN actually came first, and you can see it took a second because there wasn't. Oh, okay, are we going to do it? But I came back and I said there might be a small back gap down, but I think this 560 mark is going to be great support. And let's just kind of zoom out a tad bit more so you can really see without it kind of messing up on me here. But you can see, look, when I go back to that area, it's kind of like the same thing with DWAC. I really like that area from, like, it just goes back and forth over that area with resistance, support. I was like, it's been down a lot. It's really, how big, and then boom, that it held up from that area the rest of the day. And I was like, I remember going on live later on in the afternoon going, really? Like, I should have taken that alert. I can't believe this actually held up that area, even later on, like, it's still up in the $9 range. I'm like, I could have taken that. It hit all the way close, boom. So that had that great alert as well on Friday and kind of went over it. And just to kind of go over a few more, just so you can see what all ran with it. This was an after hours SGBX. This was on Friday as well. Look at this move from 316 up to 675. Then we had some pre-market movement. Didn't do much today. Then we had Mark or AUPH. AUPH was another one. We would get to Mark. AUPH though, awesome gap up. Just moved sideways since though. But did show some crazy movement at first. Mark was another one today, kind of showing you at least a gap up. Look at this team. Look at this. 88 cents on Friday when I'm not even paying attention to it. I do remember this on Friday. This is when I remember alerting it, going, "Wow, what a mover!" Okay, nothing too crazy. It was up just over 100%. Held its gain in after hours, and there you go. Just kept moving up and moving up. And then, are you kidding? This is where on Friday where I'm like, okay, whatever. Anywhere in here, just kind of like DWAC on Thursday, where I'm like hitting my head. Now that was another thing, going back to DWAC, going, I wanted to swing it so bad. I'm like, it's the first one. Usually this is the best time to do it. These will slowly start fading, but the first 2 or 3, 4, 5 days you see this team, and it's all different levels, right? That Mark's the lower tiered one. This is the lower priced one. PHUN was the mid priced one. But as far as swings, DWAC and it was pretty much DWAC up top to swing to go into that extra level. Then we had Mark, and look at this team. Imagine being in at $2 an out, just whatever. Okay, I'll take it. And then I'm sure a lot of traders got out. But look at this. Then you look at the gap up. Then immediately up to $10. Anywhere in here taking profit this morning. Now let's get to some more trades today. Are you kidding me? Look at some more trades. This is just what's crazy. We're not even done yet. I know you're like, am I done? No, I'm not done. HUDI, hooty hoo. Crazy little movement earlier. It's kind of had that day movement. I'll show you real quick. Kind of looks like what on the day movement. Kind of reminds me of HX, right? Kind of the same up movement. Here's a huge upper shadow. May see a gap up tomorrow, even still yet. And then that huge red candle then comes crashing back on down. Let's get into the one. I think we are into that anyway. And then to today's place. Let's get into Tesla real quick. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Tesla? I kept calling this weeks ago. This is just stuff where I can't wait to have I just need to start doing this more often and just do smaller shares. I can't wait. My account's gonna be a little bit bigger to where I can. Hey, I'm gonna get in like deck. Not as big as deck, but just to get in some share size, like 50 shares, 100 shares, and swing this. I wish I would have swung this. Let me just show you, team. I was alerting this at least 2 weeks ago. I remember Vegas, and before Vegas, when was it? Was battling the $800 area. So this was September. So this was before I even went to Vegas, saying, hey, look for the move to this $875, $9 area. But I'm telling you, especially after that, it's going to skyrocket, and it's going to hit 1,000. It's going to hit 1,000. It's not going to stay on this trend line you see right here. And just right back here. Here's before Vegas. See, here's what I'm saying, 10.7, 10.8. Here's where I went live on 10.9. Look, here's 10.9 right here. There's 10.11. That's me Monday in Vegas. Here we go, starting to skyrocket. And I'm like, there was that when I went live. Was it 10.8? Yeah, 10.8 was when I went live. That was a Friday when I went live in chat saying, hey, I'm telling you, team, 1,000. Now, even there, just swinging 100 shares at 788. Oh, eat my freaking lunch. And last but not least, today's crazy mover that went 300% or so, probably at least in after hours, still battling the $40 area. And oh my gosh, hold on a sec, real quick, team. You got to see this. You got to see this. Hold on a sec. Let's get back to it. Hold on. Stick with me a tad longer here. Back. If maybe people hadn't alerted enough. All right, here we go. My first kind of area right here, as you can see, to get in and out. BKT right here, 310 at 310. I couldn't believe this stayed up all day. Talking about DWAC and what it's moved. I mean, same type movement. Look at just real quick though, team. The hitting that high of day area at 40. Look at this. $35 main target. Or say after $35, main target 40, then 50. Look at that. Whammy. Oh, right on the dot. So perfect. Right on there on the dot. That's just what happens. I mean, it was battling there a little bit below it. It's kind of like the 875 or that everything every $10 or so. It's going to see that whatever you can put whatever number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But so point being 3875, 39 or 4875, 58. That area 58 to 5875 to $59 is always kind of tough. It's like the gatekeeper to the next area. But once it explodes past that, it's up. And so hold on a sec. Let me just see this real quick. Just perfect. Hitting the targets. All right, there we go. But yes, there we go. Was surprised to see that hold up as long as it was, but that's why I kind of just jumped in for some fun there. Just same movement, though. The same kind of reminds me of DWAC. Wasn't doing much early on in the day, and then finally started getting that boom, bam, boom, bam, 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 bam type movement. Got the U shape, a little bit of movement, right? And then just sideways all day. More so in this area all day where, DWAC made its way up a little bit higher, faster, but just stayed right here in the middle of my head, staying up all day, team, staying up all day, and then boom, the big movement came. Then look at the squeeze here. Look at this squeeze, team. Look at the top down trend, the uptrend right here, getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, 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 and wham, right before the opening. And when this does at the closing bell, same type thing you can always think about at the opening bell. If we would have kind of like DWAC, on Friday, had all that big momentum right at the opening bell, big time. See, this moving sideways opening bell. If we would have done this right here, just this straight up movement, like choo, it was skyrocketing before the bell. It's going to skyrocket even a little bit more. The trader's like, yes, let's keep going, right? Same here. Yes, we're going. Yes, let's go. Let's keep going. And so the same thought process right there. But that's just kind of moving into what we've seen in the last week, right? Now what are we going to see? I think it's going to, like I kept calling in chat, it's going to slowly fizzle. It's not going to be as hot as it was. I mean, I was surprised today, though. So maybe it just completely tricks me out. I'm like, wow, I cannot believe. And it's another stock, and it's another stock. I think throughout the week, BKKT, now kind of like DWAC. Let's see what the gap up takes us to tomorrow. Of course, we know 50 is the next target, then 75 if it gets that same movement. But DWAC, PHUN, so fun, I always called it. But DWAC, PHUN, BKKT, those are our top three to watch heading in the rest of the week. We're going to keep going back to those. Now, DWAC, it's going to have some pullback for sure, but do not be surprised. We're going to have one more, if not maybe 2 more days. The first day is going to have most of the fun, but the second day, a little bit of fun again. Maybe it's Thursday and Friday again. Kind of like the same thing, where Thursday's most of the fun, Friday's a little bit of fun, but it just kind of fades off more so than anything. It's still fun, but it's mostly like, say, in pre-market because it's gapping up again or something. But I think we'll have 1, if not 2 days of fun again from those previous top gainers. And, of course, if that's my point, and that's the thing, if DWAC starts running, if DWAC starts, we know BKKT, and maybe he'll start going with it, but these two run together so well, and they kind of do. DWAC, if it starts running and taking off, then PHUN, you guarantee will do the same exact thing. You can see the same exact almost chart setup, right? When I just went through those two in a row, move a lot in the same. Now we'll see BKKT, see if it does the same or if it's on its own pace. But those 3, team, wait for those this week, whatever day it is, and we're going to see some halting craziness out of those 2, if not 3 again, for sure. Of course, BKKT into tomorrow. And today is Monday, October the 25th. You guys have a good one. Come join me live every Friday as I go live for the man Sean Deckmore over at TradeCaster.com. I'm AK47, and I will go live during lunch hours starting very soon, if not this week, which I'm going to do this week. So I'm going to try to every day this week get in there for some lunch hour commentary and maybe some after hour commentary.